of Productivity and Business Innovation Management Africa, Remi Dairo. He's also a UK certified productivity coach. Good morning. Welcome to TVC Breakfast.
Thank you.
Talking about changing the narrative, the poverty capital of the world, which Nigeria has come to be associated with. What's your overview now of the situation?
I think we've stayed on this path for so long, and I think we need to change the narrative. It's been, over the years, Nigeria, poverty, Africa, poverty. When will we change? That means a lot of things are wrong, and we need to do basically at the root of these things. And if we don't change the root, we keep on getting even worse, statistics concerning Nigeria and poverty. And the first thing is our national value. What exactly do we, adhere to? So if we don't change the narrative from the soft, angle, the external, system will be affected. So I think we need to change our perspective to what do we really, give priority or give esteem to.
But then this is also at odds with the government's drive. In the first term, we saw how the government or the administration then was, built on a three-pronged approach. Economy was also one of them. How has the government fared in taking the country to prosperity?
Yes, just like I said, there's a soft part and there's a hard part. So what the government focused on is, corruption, we need to get this out of the way, we need to pump money into the system. In fact, the vice president was going about in the market, place.
Market
money scheme and give it. These things will not bring the change we're looking for dramatically. What will happen is until Nigerians begin to have a new mindset about what money is, what wealth is, how to increase value and how to attract money, and that whatever money you have will disappear. Now, the question is, are the government not doing enough? They are doing much. You can see the activity in the marketplace and the economy.
And the systems.
And they are doing the best they can. But you see, an average Nigerian will think that, let me get my part. Let me get my, my share from the national cake.
Stomach infrastructure.
So when I see it from that angle, no matter what you give me, if you give me that money, I eat it because it's my part of the national cake. So poverty remains because I don't understand what the essence of what I need to do with the money. So sometimes they say, okay, let's do youth empowerment. They give youth money, they give them this, and then you go and sell whatever they give to them. I've seen youth selling beans. They're supposed to be, planted. And then, go into agriculture and all that. They sold it to people who are making a current case maybe.
And talking about agriculture now, it's also been advocated that the government should also focus more on entrepreneurship, because we are seeing many youth now, they're already seeing the handwriting on the wall, so they've already taken a decision on the path they want to take in life.
So let's look at our education systems.
Right.
Also, the systems need to be revamped. Now, the education system that we still have and the curriculum is still backward because you need to cram and pass and get certificates. Then after that, that's entrepreneurship. Why don't you teach entrepreneurship well from school? So we need to look at the education system to have a kind of a productive and innovative and global mindset right from primary school. Right. Then we are infecting, the value system right from, childhood. Then when you grow up into that kind of, world, you know that when I'm coming out of school, I'm starting something or I'm going into something and it's entrepreneurial inclined, not just academic, that I've been pushing all this while.
Remi Dairo, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Joining me now is the President, Institute of Productivity and Business Innovation Management Africa, Remi Dairo. He is a UK certified productivity coach. Remi, it's nice to have you join me in the studio.
My pleasure.
All right. Let's take a look. Since the inception of democracy in 1999, the Fourth Republic, as we call it, there has been different programs by the government, from former President Olusegun Obasanjo to Yar'Adua to Goodluck Jonathan, and then now to Buhari. So it's not necessarily about this president or that president, but it is about what the government has been able to do over time. We saw the issue of needs and seeds early in the early 2000s. We had NAPEP
policies.
Exactly. We had NAPEP, we had SHOPI, now we have N-Power, and all of these things. There are vocational training programs, there are entrepreneurship and all of that. All of this over about 20 years.
So what's
we're still talking about Nigeria being the capital of poverty. What is really wrong with what is in, what's missing here?
I think the mindset of Nigerians need to be reshaped.
Who has to do that?
Starting from the leadership. Because you cannot tell me that I should, go through a particular process when you in government you are the most corrupt, or the people in government are not giving the right example. So people backward in home, so okay, how can I get my own share of it? So corruption is one of the basic needs.
Should this be all about politics and those in leadership? Because the point there is, it is well known fact that Nigerians are hardworking people. Nigerians are resilient people. When they go, in fact, in academics, in everything, when Nigerians in South Africa, Nigerians in the United States, Nigerians in Russia, Nigerians are doing excellently well everywhere in the world. So what's the difference between doing well in those countries and doing well back at home?
Because there's a system. In other parts of the country, there are systems that keeps you on track. There are systems that, anywhere you stay in, I don't want to mention the nations now, if you stay in the rural area, you are productive, and then your prosperity can, be assured. But here, if you stay in the village, and you are not sure of, the next meal, you are not sure of how to get, amenities that's, relevant, or, that will lead you to the next, thing you need to do, you might need to pack your bag and come to town. So there's too much pressure in town, and before you know, the amenities are not enough, and then we'll go back to poverty, reality. So I think the government needs to revamp this idea of economy in a way that it cut across all. Now, if you are spending so much money on all this policy, and you are doing that in town only, you are doing that in only urban area, and the rural area are forgotten, I tell you, poverty will always,
All right. There was a program that the vice president was sharing monies to people to alleviate poverty. How far can programs like that go?
So I'm one of the people that said, no, you cannot just give people money without training their mind. If you give them physical cash and their mind is not reformed, they will spend the money on something else. And then how can we track that? How can we measure it? Now, it's because you just throw money around in the marketplace. So I say that before you give them money, train their mind. Let them know what to do with the money. Now, if they are trained on business ethics, they are trained on how to manage their business, how to manage their fund, how to manage people, how to, the right culture that brings about prosperity in the nation will always bring the country out of of the trap of poverty.
All right. Now, the Nigeria population has been rising about 3%, by about 3% annual growth rate. What impact is this having on the poverty mix, as the case may be? Because a lot of Nigerians are saying we are weighed down by the burden of the population.
But I must say, you are not the only country in the world that have that number. No. India has the number. China has no number. So
United States, Russia.
Russia have the number. US have the number. So the question is, there's something we are not doing right. And it is, we are spending so much money on things that will not bring us out of poverty. Technology is key. We need to put money in there. We need to have an education that brings us out as a global competitive nation. If not, we will just have the number, and then other nations will be ripping us out of it, because they will bring products, will buy all the fake products from the other part of the country because they know we have the number. The question is, does the number have the capacity to gain out of the number, quote and unquote? So the question is, we Nigerians, we have the number and we are not making anything out of it. But other part of the world come in here and then they take over the market. So
the point there is that we have the number is the market.
Is the market.
And if you have the market, you have the power.
Exactly.
All right. No problem. Thank you very much, Remi Dairo, for your insight into all of this.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Joining me now is President, Institute of Productivity and Business Innovation Management Africa, Remi Dairo, and he's a UK certified productivity coach. You're welcome to TVC Breakfast. Pleasure. So we're heading home now. It's near the top of the hour, but then let's look at how Nigeria can rise out of poverty. It's connected to major indices like the economy, like infrastructure, for example. Many have said there's also an issue that needs to be controlled. This our lack of maintenance now of critical infrastructure in the country. So how do you suggest we can attack this?
So I think the government needs to put more emphasis or more, more money in building a system, infrastructure that will help the economy to grow. Now, I know they are doing something, but the question is, what type of economy structure should we put on ground? Now, in our own generation, in this century, data is key. Now, with your data, if data is available for all, then you can do business in your home, and then you can, make whatever thing you're doing, it can be global. Why? Because you have access to data. So, in developed world, having access to Wi-Fi, data is at the point where almost everybody have that, that capacity to, translate what they have within to the world. So what they get back is currency from other nations. So if you are still talking about doing the economy in the Naira, and then still you will still be, moving around the same circle. So I think there's a need for the government to support, the citizenry to be able to do business in the global level.
So cost of doing business, should be easier for everyone.
Exactly.
And then the health sector, there's been, a lot of controversies. The NHIC scheme there is yet to be fully enshrined, across the country. You've had a taste of another world beyond Nigeria. What would you like to see in place in the health sector?
Yeah, so I think health sector is a very serious sector we need to look at very well, because it's one of the reasons for poverty of this country. So it must be accessible and then available for both the poor and the rich. But in this case, only the rich get the best health care because they can pay more. And when they can pay more, and when they cannot find it around, they get out of the country. So it means the poor manage what is available. So in that kind of situation, poverty will always be, revolving around the community. So what I think the government should do is to, encourage more of, a local health care, well-being of the people, and providing an atmosphere where people are living well. The road system is part of it. The pollution, the air pollution. The kind of drug that comes into the country without being monitored. I mean, a lot of things. You can see people hawking drugs on the road, hawking drugs in the bus. And all these things, affect the poverty, level of a country. So we need to go beyond just talking into action. Really.
Right, a true call for action there to better the system which Nigeria runs on. Thank you very much, Remi Dairo, for your insights on TVC Breakfast this morning.